Hi everybody, it's Chef Christy and I'm here in my quarantine kitchen and I had another request for a video, this time for cutting up a whole chicken. So Trish, this one's for you. I'm going to cut up this chicken and prepare it to roast it in the oven. I'm going to cut it into serving size pieces, so actually I'm going to cut the breast in half so that I can get equal size pieces. Everything will roast evenly. So here's my chicken. And the first thing I'm going to do, I took it out of its wrapper and I just gave it a quick rinse. And now I'm going to reach in and pull out the giblet packet that's got the liver, the heart, the giblets in it, and I can do things with that later. I would make a liver pate if I had a whole bunch of chicken livers, but since I just have the one, I have a cat who would just go crazy for that. So between the dog and the cat, they're going to get the goodies out of that one. So now I've got my chicken. And this is an organic chicken from Kroger. I was really happy to be able to find whole chickens at Kroger this time around. So let's talk about the way this chicken is built. Here's the chicken's neck. These are the breasts. This is the backbone. Here's the chicken butt, or the parson's tail, whatever you call it. And legs, there's our thigh meat and our drumstick, our wing portion. And then right through the middle here, we've got what's called the keel bone that runs right down between the two of those. That happens in birds more than we have a sternum, but they have this keel bone that separates the two breasts. So first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wings off. Now, I've washed my hands, so I'm not going to touch particularly, but while you're watching this, if you put your finger on your elbow and move your elbow back and forth, you can feel where the joint is moving. You can feel where they're connecting. And that's the feeling that I want to look for right here. I'm going to wiggle the wing a little bit, and I'm going to use my finger until I can find that place where the joint and socket are together. And then I'm going to take my knife and just cut in a circular motion to separate that joint from the socket. Now, I have a whole wing here. A lot of places will go ahead and cut off the last wing segment there. And when you get wings, you're going to get those two segments right there. But to roast it, what I like to do is to take this bone right here, don't be rolling off on me, chicken, now, and bend it behind there, giving it kind of an akimbo look. And that then will roast it about the same temperature as the other pieces of chicken meat that we're going to take off. So I'm going to come over here. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put my hand here. I'm going to use my finger to find where that joint is. I'm going to put my knife right on top of that. Oops, I missed. See, it happens. There we go. And then bend my arm, my chicken akimbo, and put that in there. All right, so my next thing that I'm going to take off is the thigh and the leg piece. We have this piece of skin that attaches the thigh and the leg piece, and I'm going to cut right through that. I'm not cutting any meat right now. I'm just cutting that skin away. And as I do that, you can see how the leg just separates away from the body. And then I've got that same joint process going here, so I'm going to break that joint. Listen for that pop. All right, now I've popped that out of the joint socket, and I'm just going to cut right away like that. Now, if I could serve that as a leg portion, but I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and cut my thigh and wishbone apart as well, and then put those in the pan. Same thing on this side. I'm going to cut that flap of skin. Pop that open. Cut that off. Look for that joint between the thigh and the wishbone. Cut right through that. Alright, that's all my dark meat. Now, for my breast meat, remember I said we have this keel bone. I'm going to cut right down the middle of that, and I'm not going to do a very deep cut right now. All I want to do is split the skin and find that keel bone. All right, so I'm on one side. I'm just going to keep following that keel bone. Now, a chicken breast starts with a keel bone, and then it opens up in a wishbone shape, right? So we're going to follow that line of that chest cavity around and take the breast meat right off of that. I'm going to do that on the other side. See, there's my keel bone now. I'm going to come down on this side of it this time and give myself a little bit of an edge. All right. Let's see if I can turn it so that the camera can see this. I'm going to make knife cuts that are right. This side of my blade is right up against the bone. So I want to cut away as little meat as possible to keep all of that with the chicken cutlet. There we go. Ended up with a little bit of the chicken wing bone in there. A little bit of that's the wishbone actually, right there. Alright, so now I've got my 2 chicken breasts. I'm going to remove the tenderloin or the chicken finger that runs right inside the breast. There's 1. There's 2. Alright, now chicken breasts on modern chickens are much bigger than the rest of it, so I want to cut these in 2 pieces right about there to give me sized pieces that are going to be about the same density as the rest of the chicken pieces. So they're all going to roast at the same time together. And there we go. There's our cut up chicken. Now, I have the carcass here, and if I was going to make chicken stock, which I should, since I'm here in my quarantine kitchen, I'm going to cut right through. Can you see where the rib cage meets here? Both sides meet, and there's a suture right through there. And it's just really easy to cut right down through the middle of that to separate those bones. So the keel bone here would make fabulous stock starter, which I'll use that for. The backbone has a lot of good meat on it, and I like to roast the backbone because these little oysters right in here, I think this is the tastiest meat on the whole chicken. So I'm going to find room in my pan here to squeeze my back in here and roast that too, because I'll nibble on that. And then I may go ahead and throw it in my stock anyway. And I can probably find room for my little tenders to go in there. And I'm going to use some of the Oriental seasoning mix, 5-spice mix that I made in my class yesterday, and a little soy sauce and some honey, and do a nice glaze on those and roast those up, and I'll be able to eat on those for the next several meals here in my quarantine kitchen. Going to wash my hands really quick, and then I'll turn the camera off. I don't want to touch my camera with hands that have watched the chicken. You know, it's funny now, the salmonella on a chicken is such a small concern for why we're washing our hands compared to everything else, but it's still important. I don't want to touch my phone before I've done that. So thank you very much. This was cutting up a whole chicken. I hope that you learned it. Hope I didn't go too quick. I know I make it look really easy, and when confronted with a chicken for the first time, it can be very daunting. But just remember, you're looking for those sutures where the joints meet together, and when you find them with your finger, then you can cut through that spot, as opposed to just hacking at it and trying to find it and cutting through bone. All right? Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'm Chef Christy. Talk to you next time.